core principles of the convention are non-discrimination. There should not be discrimination against any youth, whether black, whether white, Asians, Caribbeans, name it. Every child must be treated equally. Devotion to the best interest of the child, the right to life, survival and development, and respect for the views of the child. Every child has right to express the way they feel. Unlike, back in Africa, when we were being told, when we were being grown up, that we don't have the right to say anything, no matter what your superiors, your elder tells you, that is just what you have to listen to. But under this convention, they believe that every child has a right to say no or to express the way they feel. Back home days, when somebody beats you, you might just even go and say thank you, because you don't have the right to talk back. You don't have the right to ask, why do you have to do this to me? When a child is being abused, when a child is being molested sexually back home there, she will not even want to tell anybody. Why? Because they will blame her. She doesn't have the right to express herself. Every right spelled out in the convention is inherent to the human dignity and harmonious development of every child. The convention protects children's rights by setting standards in health care, education, and legal, civil, and social services. Now, under this right, under this law, we wanted to look at a particular law that really empowers, the youth, and thereby making them feel like they are an adult. This law really contradicts this convention of 1989, and it is the abortion law. The abortion law. How has the abortion law come to contradict the child? The fact that from the previous statement I made earlier, we are made to understand that a youth is somebody that is yet to start thinking for him or herself. But under this abortion law, we will see how that law has really contradicted all those things. Abortion Act 1967. How did abortion law came into England? The Abortion Act 1967 is an act of the Parliament of the United Kingdom legalizing abortion by registered practitioners and regulating the free provision of such medical practices through the National Health Services, NHS. In 1967, this Abortion Act came into the House of Parliament in UK, legalizing abortion by registered practitioners. So that means anybody that goes to the NHS for an abortion is welcome. It was introduced by David Steele. He was one of the members of the parliament as a private member's bill, but was backed by the government. And after a heated debate and a free vote was passed on 27 October 1967, coming to effect on 27 April 1968. There was a lot of argument about whether they should legalize abortion in the United Kingdom. In 1967, it generated a lot of controversies in the House of the Parliament, but in 1968, it was passed into law, and thereby from 1968, 27 April 1968, abortion was legalized in United Kingdom. The act made abortion legal in the UK up to 28 weeks gestational. So that means anybody that is pregnant within 28 weeks is free to go and have to go and have this child removed. And remember, under the act, under the Children Act of 1989, we are hereby told that every child has a right to life. But this is in a contradiction to what, because by 28th week, as we're going to see further, a child is already formed. It's a life, it's a human being already. It's a living entity on its own. In 1990, the law was amended by the Human Fertilization and Embryology Act, so that abortion was no longer legal after 24 weeks, except in cases where it was necessary to save the life of the woman. There was evidence of extreme fetal abnormality, or there was a grave risk of physical or mental injury to the woman. In 1990, the Human Fertilization and Embryology Act came into existence that, okay, they are going to make abortion legal only when it is 24 weeks. And the only reason that it might exceed that is probably maybe for medical and health condition. Now, before we go further, I want us to look at this picture. I want us to see a baby at 28 weeks. When you look up there, this is an ultrasound scan of a 28 weeks fetus as seen in the mother's uterus. And when you look at this big area here, that is the head of the baby. That means at 28 weeks, the baby is already 7 months. An average gestational age is between 38 to 42 weeks. So as at 28 weeks that has been authorized to have an abortion, what do you think has happened? The baby is already formed. The heartbeat has started working, the arms, the legs, all the limbs, everything is kicking. So that means any attempt to terminate this pregnancy is as good as being committing a murder, because the baby is alive already. The act provides the reasons they give as an excuse to defend the doctors that are performing an abortion on the following grounds. Number one, to save the woman's life. They give the doctors this defense that, all right, they can perform an abortion on the following grounds. Number one, to save the woman's life. That is, if the woman's life is in danger. Number two, to prevent grave permanent injury to the woman's physical or mental health. That means if this baby is going to cause an injury to the woman's physical or mental health. Under 28 weeks, to avoid injury to the physical or mental health of the woman. Under 28 weeks, to avoid injury to the physical or mental health of the existing children. I find that so ridiculous. Why? Because now, somebody can now go to an abortion clinic and say that this baby, how could a baby that is in the womb will be causing a physical or mental health to an existing child? Do you understand what I'm saying now? Assuming a woman has 2 children, and now the only reason why, maybe she's now pregnant for the 3rd pregnancy, the only reason why she wanted to go and abort the pregnancy is that the pregnancy is going to cause a physical or mental health problem to the existing children. How ridiculous does that sound? If the child was likely to be severely physically or mentally handicapped, another reason they give in the defense is that if the baby in the uterus is going to have a severe physical or mental handicap, so that means